first of all, how damaging are these revelations to Trump?
Well, I think, every day we're seeing kind of another turn of the screw, another brick in the wall, whatever analogy you want to use, in terms of Democrats building their case. And I think what we saw yesterday with the public release of these transcripts was pretty significant. We know kind of two things now. One is that Gordon Sondland is saying that he does explicitly recall giving a quid pro quo to a top Ukrainian official. He sort of added an addendum to his previous testimony where he stated that. And then also we know that both Sondland and Volker had concerns about Rudy Giuliani's role that seemed as though they were pretty significant. And so I think that given the closeness that Giuliani has to the president, that is going to be a question that might be more central to this inquiry going forward.
So what does this mean about the impact that the Republicans demand that more of the proceedings be made public?
Well, so Republicans have been saying that's been their chief criticism, is that this inquiry up until this point has occurred behind closed doors. We know now that we're moving into the public phase because of the vote that we had in the House at the end of last week. I think that these events that transpired yesterday, though, with the release of these transcripts, show the risk to the Republican strategy, because they keep demanding that more and more of this happen out in the public view. But when this kind of damaging information comes out and it's in the public, that creates then a problem for Republicans. So I think in some ways this argument that more and more should be made public may be both backfiring, and it's certainly becoming a less valid argument as more things do come out from behind closed doors.
Okay, so we're like 364 days away from that 2020 election. How does it impact the polls?
Well, I think that so far we have seen Trump's Republican support be pretty resilient. I think there has been some movement overall in favor of impeachment and removing Trump from office in a number of polls, but it's been about 50-50. And so I think it's going to be important as this moves into the public phase and gets more into the public consciousness to see where those polls go. If we start seeing particularly Republican movement, that's going to be problematic for Trump. But there was an interesting poll last week beginning of this week from the New York Times and a number of battleground states that showed Trump being competitive against top Democrats. And so these are going to be the states that are going to be most significant in deciding the election. It looks like Trump is doing pretty well there still.